Hey guys, Miguel Gomez here, and today we're building the YZ2T. The latest Yokomo. I know it's a couple months late from when it was released, but I'm still super excited, and I think it should be a good addition to my little YZ2 family. So to build this kit quickly and effectively, the best thing you're gonna want is a nice clean workspace. I'm gonna remove some of this stuff to open up some more space, but you're also gonna want a nice set of pliers, a nice set of Allen screwdrivers. You don't have to go with Weira's or like Weehaws or anything. You can go with any of the RC car brand ones, but there you're really paying a lot for the name and the quantity they sell. With Weira or with like Weehaw or any of those high precision German brands, they do a lot bigger bulk, a lot bigger orders generally, so they can keep their costs relatively low and provide an extremely high quality product. These are industrial grade tools with a lot of engineering behind them. Enough about tools, because any tool you get is gonna do the job. As long as they're not too cheap and they don't round off your bolts, you're gonna be good. I got some chain links, front and rear, and the Yokomo YZ2T doesn't come with rims. So until Yokomo releases rims, you're gonna have to use the associated offset stadium truck wheels, which is fine. They're decent quality wheels. I like the J Concepts a little more, but they only had these in stock. So right off the hop, tools required, a 1.5 and a 2 mil wrench, got that. Screwdriver, I have that, it's on the table, but I have it. Nut driver comes with, body reamer, have scissors, CA glue, some pliers, a knife, and it actually comes with a nut wrench, a turnbuckle wrench, and a 1.5 and 2 mil. I highly recommend not using the L ones. Put this up and get started. On to the next step. So far, the only different thing are the side guards for the body itself, which does make me question how I'm gonna fit a fan. I guess there's quite a bit of open space I could just taper onto. Next, we're gonna go to bag number 1. Heck yeah. I'm moving on to page 6 and starting with the rear. So I noticed straight off the bat, they're using the longer arms for the steering, which I actually am really happy about, because I know that means it's a dirt setup, but it also means that for carpet I have both bell cranks essentially in the kit, so I don't have to buy a $60 steering system on top of the price of the car to get the setup for both carpet and dirt, which is awesome. So next, it looks like we're doing some rear suspension, and that looks like it's bag number 2. OMG. I won't give any final thoughts yet. I need to actually try it out, but it's kind of looking like you can fit this tranny into a YZ2, the normal YZ2. So these are your diff height adjustments. This is the new one of the new improved parts from the Yokomo, from the new Yokomo YZ2T. It's you get the 0, 0, or if you flip it, you get 3 mil, or the 1 and 2. In theory, when we go onto carpet, I'll raise it up even more, just like the 2 mil Diff riser or gearbox riser that came with the CAL2. But instead of being on the whole gearbox, which raises the center of gravity, it's just on the diff itself. So that is new. That is new. The gearbox is very, very compact. This is uncharted territory here, guys. They're not lying when they say you can use 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's technically 6, so you have to remove these 2 up here too. That's neat. I like that. And you can see exactly what setting you're at without even taking apart the vehicle. That's something else. Okay, so the quick release diff is not too bad. There's 2 mil bolts right there, 2 right there, and then 2 underneath there. So you're really gonna need a ball end screwdriver, a ball end hex, so you can, because you kind of have to wiggle it through the body mount. It will do it. You can do it. It will work. It's 6 bolts really. And the last 2 are actually pretty difficult to get to. So yeah, it's a quick release, yeah. It's faster, probably. But if the body posts weren't so long, I don't know, I guess you'd still need a ball end. So definitely, if you want to utilize a quick change rear diff, get a ball hex driver. And that's essentially it. That is, it seems shorter. To me, it seems shorter. Looks good. Next page, please. So, for this step of the process, I realized I followed the book, but you should wait to put the body mounts on until you get this on, unless you have a ball and hex driver, or else you won't be able to get your 2 mil behind, because it's at an angle. You're gonna have to screw it in at an angle, and you don't want to be stripping that out by using a normal 2 mil. So, just a little note about the build process so far. Everything else is going pretty smooth. Once you get to page 11, you're gonna install the new battery system, which in theory it works well, but I did install it in my YZ2 CAL2 and noticed that on pretty hard crashes, the actual battery holders would flex and make the battery move forward, kind of feeding the purpose of a battery strap. So the way I found to mitigate that, or at least help it out a little bit, is put a secondary 18 mil bolt with another spacer the furthest forward you can. So there are 2 holes apart, which isn't ideal, but it is enough. And you can just see it adds a lot of rigidity to it, which actually will help the battery not slide forward and crash. It's just a minor inconvenience I've found about the new battery strap system, and it's also about 15 grams heavier. So if you're in stock racing, stick with the old battery strap. Now, page 12, we're gonna start assembling the front end, the knuckles and stuff, which should be pretty much the same as other YZ2s. Okay guys, so I just finished up putting all the turnbuckles on, measured them. Just about the right length, very close. Next is the shocks, which overall aren't much different than what we're used to on other YZ2s. They're, well, they're the same actually. Just the lengths. The fronts are slightly longer than the fronts, yet slightly shorter than the rears on the other YZ2. And the rears are much, much longer. So I'm gonna start with the fronts. I'm just finishing up the shocks, and I did run into a couple problems, sadly. The shock bodies themselves and all the important bits are perfect, but this shock cap wasn't drilled all the way through. So when I tried tightening it, I thought I was tightening it, but it got stripped. So I need a new shock cap because of the molding wasn't quite right. So it's a pogo stick. But all the other three actually are fine. So I'm not hating on Yokomo. It's just an unfortunate thing that happened with this particular YZ2T. Okay guys, so the YZ2T is 95% done. I need to get the motor in, which should be coming in tomorrow or the day after. And I need to figure out this shock cap, which I'll buy the part, but I also want to contact Yokomo because that's just manufacturing error. So next steps is going to be gluing up the tires, painting the body, and going to the track. The worst thing about this build was definitely the shock cap, which, yeah, I could have probably prevented, but it shouldn't have happened in the first place. And it's actually really interesting to see, just like with the CAL2, seeing the incremental upgrades and changing of the processes for each generation of YZ2. So we started with the YZ2DT, which had a little bit more errors in the molding and stuff, but still worked really well. The CAL2 was essentially flawless. And then the YZ2T, for the majority it was flawless, but on the newer parts you could tell they still need to refine some of the manufacturing processes. So overall, it's a very good build. Just be very careful. This might just be one issue for me, but be careful with your shock caps. Also, the manual, very good for the most part, just like most Yokomo books, they're very good until a few details. So with the YZ2T, it's that shock shaft length and the inner spacers, it just doesn't add up. But let's go see how it drives now. Thanks for watching, guys.
Keep it taking the boys.